Lots of people think self-discipline is the key to succeeding with online learning. Do you think people can train their self-discipline? For example, by submerging their hand into a bucket of ice-cold water?
I don't know about that, but I do know that having self-discipline can be less important than you think. We'll get back to that. But first, let's discuss how to learn better from online courses. When you take an online course, you read articles and you watch videos like this one. That gives you an overview of the material. But to learn the material well, you'll need to process what you're learning more actively. You'll want to think about how the content relates to what you already know. And you'll want to take notes, as well as to try to apply what you've learned. You'll want to discuss the content with friends or colleagues on forums. That's why we've encouraged you several times to participate in our forum.
What about skipping active learning and instead watching all videos twice? What about skipping active learning and instead watching all videos twice?
Research has shown that you will learn more by watching a video only one time and then spending that extra time working actively with the information. For example, making notes that synthesize the information and seeing if you can retrieve those key ideas.
The rise of online courses has made education more accessible, affordable, and flexible. Here on edX, for example, you have access to lectures from some of the world's leading experts whenever and from wherever you want. But compared to traditional classroom education, all this flexibility and freedom puts greater responsibility on you to structure your study. It's kind of like exercising on your own instead of with others. Self-discipline can help, but it's also a risky bet. Self-discipline is like an unreliable friend. It's hard to know if self-discipline will be there for you to help. Therefore, it's better to find ways to get things done that reduce the need for self-discipline. For example, you can plan ahead. Psychologists have found that if you plan when, where, and how you will study, you're more likely to actually do it. One experiment showed that students who planned when and where they would study ended up spending 50% more time studying. That's a lot. So to help you with online learning, or actually any learning, it can be a good idea to set aside 30 minutes a day, preferably at a specific time where you study a specific subject.
Psychologists have also found that if you think ahead about likely obstacles and how you'll respond to those obstacles, you'll be much more likely to overcome them. For this, you can use the WHOOP technique. Think of something you wish to get done. Then think about the best outcome or feeling from getting that done. Then think about the likely obstacles that could prevent your outcome. Finally, devise plans to get around those obstacles. Let's say, for example, you plan to study for an hour after work. That's your wish. If you can get it done, you'll feel much better and you can play your favorite video game guilt-free. A possible obstacle, however, is that you'll be tired after work, so you don't feel like studying. You make a plan that if you are tired, you'll get cracking anyway, starting by doing the Pomodoro. The next day, if you actually do feel tired, you'll be more likely to respond just as you had planned to respond. For example, one experiment showed that students who thought ahead about likely obstacles and how to respond to those obstacles completed 60% more practice problems for an important test than students who didn't. We recommend that you do a WHOOP for the next day every evening before you go to sleep, and then reaffirm that WHOOP the next morning.
Another helpful approach is to take control of your environment, to make it more conducive to what you want to achieve. Let's say you wanted to go to the gym in the morning. And that's a good idea because, as you know, exercise is helpful for learning. you know you'll struggle to get out of bed. But if you pack your bag the night before and put the alarm clock in the room at the end opposite to your bed, you'll have to get out of bed to turn it off. And with your things already packed, you made it as easy as possible to follow through. Similarly, you can take control of your study environment. Close down any windows on your laptop that aren't relevant to your learning ahead of time. Not this window! Using website blockers can also help you stay on task.
All these ideas will help you build a structure around your learning and will help you succeed without relying on self-discipline. It'll take some conscious planning and effort from your side, but with time, these practices will transform into good learning habits.
And good habits are invaluable because they grow from your procedural system, meaning that you do what you're supposed to be doing without even thinking about it. Although good habits can take practice to develop, they can become your personal autopilot in your path to success. Our 10th video completed, and it's time for a treat. And you've earned a treat too.
A little reward can do a lot for your motivation, but there's much, much more. Come with us to our next video. I'm Barb Oakley.
And I'm Olav Schewe. Thank you for learning to learn like a pro.